Good morning. We are here, of course, at the Design Summit here in Melbourne, and this is a bit of a rolling festival, this one really. I'm really pleased to be joined this morning by Grant Davidson and also the founder of the Design Summit, Mark Bergin. Welcome. And we're going to start off, though, by talking about our very first topic today, which is about design courage. So, Mark, take it away.
So, thanks, Fenella. So, design courage is a key theme that we have at Design 100, mainly because when we started to ask what was the tension that existed between the people who commission and the people who create projects, we went out and we asked people what do they think about design courage. And I had all of these people from the demand side of the table reach across the table and say, oh, you understand. And I thought, oh, dang on, it's not a biblical moment here. And then I went to the creative teams. I said, what do you think of design courage as a theme for what we're doing? And they reached across the table and said, you understand. And so what I realised was we found a driving dynamic, which was the nervousness that exists on the people who are trying to commission work is pretty much the same as the nervousness for those who are proposing a response to the brief. So we then have extended that and said, let's make that part of the dialogue because there's common territory that exists there. If we were talking about what's on trend or what's on style, you wind up with different motivation. The people who are in industry who are commissioning work, they're not as driven by what's necessarily on trend and on style. They want something which is performing for their business. If you talk to the creative people, they may not be as motivated about what's happening inside the business as far as how is it going on trend. You put design courage into the mix, immediately you now have a conversation where both people are mildly vulnerable and they also have an understanding of what each other's going through. So, Grant, tell me a bit, as you're getting a response to somebody's brief, what does that do for the team? You know, when do you feel 100% comfortable that you're actually proposing the right response, or is it always a little bit nervous?
Look, I think there's always a degree of nervousness because in many ways what we do is we create a prototype every single time. It hasn't been created before. And there's always that nervousness and uncertainty from both sides, client and our side, that what you've created is what they're expecting. And I guess from client side, they're nervous because are they going to see what they're expecting? And I guess there's an enormous leap of faith from a client's point of view because they've often committed a significant sum of money, sometimes, in the hundreds of thousands, to something that they haven't seen or tested or touched or taste. And that must be incredibly nerve-wracking.
So I suppose then there's also an offset there where these days with the amount of design research that's around and methodologies in prototyping and testing, that must be removing some of that walking off a cliff in blind faith. You're able to go and deploy a lot more tools and techniques to help bring that confidence to people who are generally running in a risk-averse model.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, market research has its pros and its cons. In some ways, yes, it does give that confidence that consumers or a small group of consumers do actually like that concept. And so from, I guess, the client's point of view, that gives a little bit of reassurance that this is actually going to work. I guess, again, double-edged sword. From the flip side, you are talking to a small group, and that small group can often only comment on what they're comfortable with and what they're used to seeing. So if you're looking for innovation, sometimes research doesn't give you the read that that's going to get cut through and be different and new.
Yeah, and I suppose we're seeing more of that market research is often considered to be a reductive process, that you're really asking people to validate an end idea, whereas design research seems to be more trying to actually come up with insights and then find out what's going to be the synthesis of those inputs that you're getting, which is really the essence of the design process, synthesizing inputs both from the brief and also from the research that you've done. So I suppose it's the more we deploy design research and help our clients to know how design research works, the greater we're going to actually get rid of some of that nervousness that exists between the parties.
Absolutely. Perfect. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Grant Davidson, Mark Bergin, talking about design courage. Thank you.